Dhammapada verses 3 and 4. Tisathara Vatu. Akoki mam avadi mam. Ajini mam ahasimi. Yi ca tam upanayanti. Varam tesam na samati. Akoki mam avadi mam ajini mam ahasimi yi ca tam nupanayanti varam tesapasamati. Verse 3. He abused me, he ill-treated me, he got the better of me, he stole my belongings. The enmity of those harboring such thoughts cannot be appeased. Verse 4. He abused me, he ill-treated me, he got the better of me, he stole my belongings. The enmity of those not harboring such thoughts can be appeased. The story of Theratissa. While residing at the Jetavana monastery in Savatthi, the Buddha uttered verses 3 and 4 of this book, with reference to Theratissa. Tissa, son of the Buddha's maternal aunt, was at one time staying with the Buddha. He had become a bhikkhu only in his old age, but he posed as a senior bhikkhu and was very pleased when visiting bhikkhus asked his permission to do some service for him. On the other hand, he failed to perform the duties expected of junior bhikkhus. Besides, he often quarreled with the younger bhikkhus. Should anyone rebuke him, on account of his behavior he would go complaining to the Buddha, weeping very much. Dissatisfied and very upset, the others also followed him to the presence of the Buddha. The Buddha told them not to harbor thoughts of enmity, for enmity could only be appeased by not harboring enmity. Then the Buddha spoke in verse as follows. Verse 3. He abused me, he ill-treated me, he got the better of me, he stole my belongings. The enmity of those harboring such thoughts cannot be appeased. Verse 4. He abused me, he ill-treated me, he got the better of me, he stole my belongings. The enmity of those not harboring such thoughts can be appeased. At the end of the discourse, 100,000 bhikkhus attained Sotapatti fruition. Dhammapada verse 5 Kalayakini Vatu. Nahai Varena Varani Samantita Kudakanam Avarena Ca Samanti Esa Dhammo Sanantano. Verse 5. Hatred is, indeed, never appeased by hatred in this world. It is appeased only by loving kindness. This is an ancient law. 1. Esa Dhammo Sanantano. This is the same as Puranako Dhammo, the doctrine followed by the Buddha and his disciples. The exhortation is not to return hatred for hatred but to conquer it by loving kindness, absence of hatred. The story of Kalayakini. While residing at the Jetavana monastery in Savatthi, the Buddha uttered verse 5 of this book, with reference to a certain woman who was barren, and her rival. Once there lived a householder, whose wife was barren. Later he took another wife. The feud started when the elder wife caused abortion of the other one, who eventually died in childbirth. In later existences the two were reborn as a hen and a cat, a doe and a leopardess, and finally as the daughter of a nobleman in Savatthi and an ogress named Kali. The ogress, Kalayakini, was in hot pursuit of the lady with the baby, when the latter learned that the Buddha was nearby, giving a religious discourse at the Jetavana monastery. She fled to him and placed her son at his feet for protection. The ogress was stopped at the door by the guardian spirit of the monastery and was refused admission. She was later called in and both the lady and the ogress were reprimanded by the Buddha. The Buddha told them about their past feuds as rival wives of a common husband, as a cat and a hen, and as a doe and a leopardess. They were made to see that hatred could only cause more hatred, and that it could only cease through friendship, understanding and goodwill. Then the Buddha spoke in verse as follows. Verse 5. Hatred is, indeed, never appeased by hatred in this world. It is appeased only by loving kindness. This is an ancient law. At the end of the discourse, the ogress was established in Sotapati fruition and the long-standing feud came to an end.